everyone, it's Liam, the Deaf Doom Metalhead. I hope you're all well. It's time for a new video where I do a band spotlight, where I talk about bands that I feel are, really, really good, and people should be checking them out more. And especially this one, because to me, this band are in my, easily my top 10 best bands ever, if you will. And they're a new band, which is very unusual for me, because you could probably look in my collection at a glance. There's a lot of stuff from even before I was born I kind of hold near and dear, and new bands come along and I like them, but they never make that top 10, if you know what I mean, because you always have your favourites and it's very rare that you can knock them down with a newer band. But this one definitely did that for me, and it took me very much by surprise when I checked it out, because I never heard of them before, never saw any kind of promotion for it. It kind of just hit me. Saw the what style it was, I checked it out, and I've been a big fan ever since. And obviously, judging by the title of the video, we are talking about the band Fvneral Fvkk. Now, the band name will obviously put loads of people off, but bear with me, it's not what you think. They're not a black metal band. They are an epic doom band that formed, I think, in 2015 in Hamburg, Germany. They are members from various projects in that scene. I think there's Crimson Swan, Void Haven, Ophis, I think that's how you pronounce that. And there's another one, but I can't remember how you pronounce that. And they are I think a 5-piece by memory. So you've got 2 guitars, vocals, drums, bass, that kind of thing. And yeah, like I said, they play epic doom. Now, judging by the band title, that'll put people off if you're sensitive to that kind of subject. It is basically all about the Catholic Church and that side of that religion. Now, if you're like me, I'm not religious in any way, shape or form. But if you are, fair play to you, if that's your thing. But being blunt, I just think it's a load of bollocks. And, I've always been a fan of that kind of, not in a way, in an immature way, but anti-religion speaks to me a little bit, because I have a hard time, with that kind of subject and how people can just throw themselves at it. But, if you're spiritually into that kind of thing, I'm never going to judge anyone for it. Personally, it just doesn't connect to me. And this band talks about the Catholic Church and the darker side of that, but not in a blasphemous, well, I guess it is, but not in a black metal kind of band way where it's been done a bazillion times and, deicide, all that kind of stuff. This is more done in like more of a tasteful way in the lyrics more than anything else, and how it's put across is kind of tongue-in-cheek in some parts, and it's just done really, really well. So the band, if you like bands like Solitude Aeternus, Candlemas, bands like Sorcerer, Ghost for some parts, I guess you could say, that kind of is really good epic doom. Because for me, with epic doom, it has to have like a bigger meaning, because I like bands that do like the big epic vocals, but the problem is the genre is so overpopulated with bands that talk about Conan the Barbarian, Viking warriors, all that kind of thing, which is great, but it's boring now. Whereas this band do something completely different to a point. You could easily compare them to Ghost for their whole anti-cult religious kind of theme, but I don't think they've kind of nicked that idea at all. I think how these guys do it, they do it in a way where it's widely documented about what they're talking about, and they're just kind of portraying that in that way. So they're not making any up, stories up and nothing like that. They're kind of just using facts and, articles they've probably read and then portraying that in their music. So anyway, enough about that. They put out this EP in, I think, 2017 through Bleeding Heart Nihilist Productions, which is a German metal label. The band are signed to Solitude Productions, which is a Russian label, but I believe Bleeding Heart put out the vinyl releases in Germany. Excuse me. This is a hand-numbered one, the first pressing. They've since repressed it, I think a couple of months ago, so you can get a copy of this now, but this was very hard to find when I wanted this, because I missed the boat when they first came out. I listened to it on Spotify, loved it. Went to go buy it, gone. which is, you know, quite normal if you like you're working. I mean, now because of the COVID thing, I've been home loads, so I rarely missed a pre-order now. But when I was working a lot, you know, I was missing loads of pre-orders because you have to make sure you're on the money, especially with bands that, you know, people listen to it and go, oh fucking hell, that's really good, I need to get that, and then it becomes instantly impossible to get hold of. It's a 2-track EP, Erection in the House of God, and underneath the, I can't pronounce that, Fvneral? I wouldn't even know what it means, I'm not that intelligent. But the band, as you can see, is all based off the Catholic Church religion, and if you can see there, that's the name of their characters that they portray in the band. And obviously Cantor Sideacus, he's such a great vocalist. I mean, his real name, I think I wrote it down somewhere, is Simon. Yeah. And he sings in Void Haven, which I've spoke about on this channel before, with their EP. And I think he was also a guitarist in Ophis. He's an amazing vocalist, and it was what made this band for me. I mean, when I first heard these guys, I thought they were an American band just because of the way he sings, because it's very much in the vein of like Robert Lowe and how he, you know, can really deliver on the vocal front. But because it's obviously Catholic Church based in the religion and the themes of it, he does it in almost like a preacher kind of, you would believe he's part of the Catholic Church, the way he delivers the vocal style. And the dual harmonies on it, and everything is, you know, done to a very high level. And guitar wise, the melodies, they flow with the vocals, and they make the songs epic. You know, there's some chuggy moments in there, the solos are really sorrowful and drawn out, and they fit with the lyrical themes of each song, so they're not just chug power chords, you know, all that kind of, there's a lot going on. And this EP really took my imagination. Instantly fell in love with it, you know, and I was really excited about the full length when it came out. And in 2019 it did. And here it is, Carnal Confessions. Now this is a Solitude Productions release, but this was put out through Bleeding Heart Nihilist Productions on vinyl, I think on tape as well. And I also think they do the merch, because Solitude Productions only normally do CDs. Like when we signed to them, they've only did a CD deal, and then they said you can go do what you want after that. So I guess it was the same deal for these guys. Came out in 2019, 2 sides, and this album for me, easily in my top 5. It's that good. It is a very strong album, and the people I recommend it to, they all say the same thing. Like guitarist Andy, who's in my band, he, you know, never heard these guys before. I told him about it, he went and pre-ordered the CD, got a t-shirt, you know, he loved it. He's like me though, the band name kind of draws you in. But this is a very high standard epic doom album. If you again like Sorcerer, Candlemas, Solitude Productions, there is no reason you won't like this album. No reason, unless you're Catholic and you'll be offended by it. But you know, if you've got, you know, you don't care about stuff like that, you're in it for the music, 100%, this is well worth your time. It's very tongue-in-cheek. Obviously, you've got some very dark songs on here lyrically, and you've also got kind of these very heavy, chuggy parts. And what I liked about it, I mean, there's a few special editions ones I couldn't get hold of. That again is a first pressing that I managed to find from the label on camera. So there's another hand-signed one. The label kind of basically put a message out saying that we found a couple of these lying around, does anyone want one? And I jumped on it straight away and was happy about that. And then like a couple of weeks later they reissued it anyway. I've been waiting like nearly a year to get it, but it doesn't matter, I've got a first pressing, so I'm even happier. But they include this like hymn book, which has all the lyrics of each track. I don't know if you can see that very well with the glare, but like the first song, Chapel of Abuse, you know, the picture itself will probably tell you what it's going to be about. But lyrically, that is very clever, and it's sung really well. And you know, I put this on loads, this album. I still haven't got bored of it. I'll stop playing it for a couple of months, a couple of weeks maybe. I'll leave it. I'll put it back on. You know, love it. It's even more fun when you can sing along to it as well. You know, you kind of learn the words and then you end up singing along to them. It's just so good, so good. I mean, every song on this album, you know, is very, very strong. There's no weak stuff. But like, you know, the lyrical content, like A Shadow in the Dormitory, you've got At night darkening neath the sheets I crawl, laying hearkening for his heavy steps, sounding across the hall, sleeping, sweating, choking, dreaming, turning, cramping, waking, screaming, sacred saviour, holy mother, spare me, save me from the shadow on the wall. And you can kind of tell, obviously, it's about abuse in the Catholic Church, which has been very widely documented. And people come out, you know, talking about how they were abused as children and that kind of thing. And that instantly puts my back up. I don't like religion, especially organised religions like that, where they know better. And you know, it's going to happen somewhere around the world when people have that kind of power. Because the world is not a very nice place. And then you've got like the Hallowed Leech, where I'm assuming it's about children being bled with leeches to heal the priest, stuff like that. Poor Sisters of Nazareth, I think it's about like nuns abusing women, and you know, all sorts of things like that. When God is not watching, you know, you get the idea what I'm talking about. So if you like that kind of occult, looking at religion for how I would look at it, you know, it's very, very, very well done. Not done like Ghost does, where they kind of dress it up and do all the fancy stuff. I like Ghost, but it's nothing like this. You know, Ghost is more tongue-in-cheek fun. This is again tongue-in-cheek, but done in a more serious style. Again, the band name will put loads of people off. But if you don't care about that kind of thing, you just want to listen to it for what it is, totally worth your time. Again, I'll put links in the below video for how you can get hold of the album, the band page, all that kind of thing. And do check it out and let me know what you think in the comments. Or I'll put a link on a YouTube video and you can listen to it and then let me know what you think. Because for me, they are easily one of my top 10 bands of all time. I don't think I'll ever change, because if they put another album out and it's completely shit and completely different to this, then maybe, but I very much doubt it. They are pretty much a side project. But they have got a lot of praise from putting this release out. And again, you can go on Bleeding Heart Nihilist now. You can get repressings of the full length and the EP. Obviously, you get both because they're, you know, brilliant. And yeah, I think I held that upside down. Right way around? Or way around? Which way is the right way around? It's that way. Upside down cross. Anyway, I've been the Deaf Doom Metalhead. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe if you don't already. I do loads of cool content. I think it's cool. About all sorts of stuff in the more underground world of metal. And until next time, I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.